Yo, people, you know who it is. Daniel Nero from Watch It or Not TV. Just gonna have a little discussion about Extraction 2. If you haven't seen that one, that's the new Chris Hemsworth movie on Netflix, sequel to Extraction 1, obviously. If you haven't seen that, then you are living under a rock, mate. After that, we're gonna have a little discussion about Black Mirror. We're gonna talk about episode 2 and 3. So yeah, obviously, if you saw my little TikToky from earlier, you'd know that episode 3 is something quite interesting to discuss. So yeah, we're gonna get into that. I hope you guys are all okay. Just gonna see if we can get anyone in here, see if anyone's going to turn up. If not, we'll just get started in a second. Has anybody actually seen Extraction? Like, does anyone know about it? Does everyone know about it? If not, yeah, I don't know what you're missing. I feel like when that came out, I feel like it was a big thing because it was the first thing I feel like Thor did after the whole Endgame Avengers. I think it was the next thing that he done. I think he wanted to try and come out, try and get away from the little niche that he'd put himself in with for the kind of jokey sort of goof kind of person. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that that was the next one that he did, and everyone was a bit like, yeah, wow. So if you haven't seen Extraction, give that a watch. All right, cool. So let's get into it. Extraction 2. That came out this year, pretty recently actually as well. Probably maybe less than a month ago. Starring Chris Hemsworth, obviously. It's directed by, well, it's written by, should I say, the Russo brothers, who obviously had everything to do with Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, Captain America Winter Soldier, and also they produced Everything Everywhere All at Once. Also credited with uh, a writing credit is Andy Parks, who I only know because he was involved as a writer in the first one. So maybe in the future you might see something coming from him, but as far as I'm aware, this is a Russo brothers production, directed by Sam Hargrave. And if you don't know who Sam Hargrave is, again, he was involved in Avengers Endgame. I think he was something to do with the stunts. Um, yeah, pretty sure it's to do with the stunts, and he actually had a small role in the first Extraction. So that introduces that. Extraction is basically about, for those who haven't seen it, Extraction is basically about, I don't know what you call them, CIA, MI5, whatever those type of peoples are. You know those type of people that wear like khaki trousers and they're good with guns and fighting and that. Them man there, the military man there. That's basically who Chris Hemsworth is, a military man, and he gets hired to extract people, so go and save them when they've been kidnapped. And in the first one, he has to go and save this little, I think I want to say Indian boy who is kidnapped, and his father's a rich man, etc., etc. And then there's twists and turns, but the main thing that Extraction is hyped up for is the action, because the action is incredible. Like, it's top tier, top tier, top tier. Yeah. So when the second one came out, I was uber excited. I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm ready now. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready for number two. What you give me? What you giving me? So movie starts off where the first one ends, and it just gives you a quick insight into how Chris Hemsworth comes back from what had occurred to him in the first Extraction. Don't want to give you too much, but if you haven't seen the first Extraction, it's a bit peak for you. But yeah, at the end, certain things happen, and yeah, and in this one, the first one, in number two, they basically sum up what happened at the end and how he comes back and etc etc. So that's how it starts off with him doing training, trying to get back to his full strength, etc etc. And then after that, we're introduced to a new character who is Idris Elba. Would you believe Idris Elba comes and offers Rake, which is the character that Chris Hemsworth plays, offers Rake a another job. So like, okay, yeah, and at the moment he's not really involved. He's not really interested in kind of getting back into the game. However, he is advised that this job has come from his ex-wife. So it kind of turns the tide. Do you know what I mean? Especially if you've seen the first one and you understand the relationship between him and his ex-wife. So he ends up taking it. I'm not going to give too much away. I don't want to ruin it for you because I actually want you to go and watch it. But the first action scene in this movie, I think it's around 15, maybe 20 minutes long. It's in one shot. Now, that might not mean much to you as me saying it. It might not mean much to you as me saying it. When you watch it, to know that they did this in one shot is beggars belief how they've managed to do it. It really is. There is just so much going on that I am gobsmacked at how they have managed to grab this in one scene. Like, I'm I'm confused because I feel like they would have had to have shot this 100 and something times, literally, to get it right. But because it looks so expensive, I'm genuinely baffled at how they've managed to do this. It just looks incredible. Like, I know I'm looking for the cuts, and I'm like, are these people still going? Like, the scene is still going. The camera ain't changed. The angle ain't changed. It's literally just following Rake, and there's just so much going on. Guns, fire, bullets, fighting. There's hundreds of people. Like, it's just bananas. And they literally nailed that scene. And it kind of set the tone for the movie. It was like, right, this is the level of Mazzoline action man are getting involved in. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the bar. This is the bar that you've set. And for me, I don't think it ever hit that bar again. That's the only real criticism that I have of this movie. That's the only real like con that I would say about this movie, that it didn't hit that high again. It left. It was here, right? Like here, bow, and then the rest of the movie was like here. It was dipping, like it was here, this, that, but the rest of the movie was here, but it never really hit that first scene again, which is unfortunate. Whereas what I will give the first one is that kind of went on a trajectory. It kind of like started off okay, because and then it kind of built up to a crescendo where this one just started off as an absolute madness and then kind of just floated along. That's the only that's the only that's the only con I probably would have for this movie. Um, Apart from that, I thought it was fantastic. I thought that even though the action scenes were still cool, they were still great. Like they still intriguing. They were still action packed. Everything was still as exciting as the first. It's just that when you set the bar so high for something, you set the bar so high, and you're like, right, this is what's coming now. This is what I can expect from the rest of the movie, and I didn't actually get it. But the rest of the movie was dope. Like, even the storyline was dope. Again, like I said, the antagonist was cool. I like the antagonist. He was pretty dope. He gave me menacing, which is what you want. He gave me you don't want to mess with this guy. Those type of dudes. You'd be like, I really hope I don't encounter one of these people one day, because You don't look like he plays games. Don't look like he plays no game. Don't look like he plays no Connect Four Ludo. You know what I mean? Don't not playing none of that. He's straight no games, no smiling. I don't think he smiled once in the whole thing. Just soft talking murderers. You know them people. So he was cool. Also, it was a good. There was a good like little backstory to him. Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty cool. That was dope. Extraction, man. It's I can see this going on for a long time. I can see this going on for like Extraction 4, Extraction 5. They could really build on it. They could really build something into it. It's similar to like a James Bondy type of thing, but maybe a bit more action and a little less suave. So I could see that happening, which is cool. I wouldn't be mad at it because they do have an actual underlying story with the main character who is Tyler Rake, Chris Hemsworth, plus he has a team with him. They do have an underlying story that could kind of go forward, and you can see some betrayal happening, etc., etc. I could go back in the past, how he became Tyler Rake, how he became the military person. I can see that. So I'm not mad that this might turn into one of those, like a Fast and Furious franchise, but not as foolish. Like that. Like a decent franchise, not like freaking driving on space or whatever they was doing these days. I don't know. I haven't even seen Fast X, so I don't know. I don't know what they was doing. Maybe they was freaking. Who knows what they're doing now? The last one they was driving in space. I don't know what they're doing in this one. You know what I mean? So yeah, I wouldn't be mad at an Extraction franchise, Extraction, a long term version, and there'll definitely be a number 3, the way that the first one ended. If um if it was to end kind of soon, I would be kind of annoyed because I feel like with the direction it's going and with the action and with the way that they changed up the kind of with the whole one scene thing this time, I feel like they've got a lot going on that they could progress with. Another film that you should check out, which has an awesome scene that doesn't cut, uncut scene, is Athena. That's on Netflix as well. French movie, really good. That's got a great scene, similar to the Extraction one, but nowhere near the budget. So yeah, check that out. But yeah, guys, Extraction 2, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was dope. Do you know it's one of those movies that I could actually watch again? I literally could actually watch that again and be excited with what I'm seeing. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not one of those ones that you can never see again. So yeah, check it out. Extraction 2, that's on Netflix. Yeah, so give that a go. Let me know what you think. Hit me up in the DMs or hit me up on Insta, email address, watchitornottv@gmail.com. So yeah, hit me up on that one. Okay, moving on from Extraction, we're gonna go to Black Mirror episode 2, which I believe is called Lock Henry. I think I'm right in that. Lock Henry. Actually will make a lot of sense to you when you watch it. So yeah, Lock Henry, Black Mirror. First of all, I'm a massive Black Mirror fan, huge. However, I think they've fallen off in the later stages of what they're doing. I think the first few seasons, I want to say the first 3 seasons, when you had all the British actors, like your Toby Kebbles, your Damson Idrises, your Daniel Kaluuyas, your Wunmi Masakus, like when they was all being Letitia Wrights, when they was all actually she might come later actually, but when it was British, basically when everything was British, because I feel like once it changed over and then the American side started getting involved, I think it kind of lost its way. However, it was still good. I still enjoyed it, but I just think it lost its uniqueness because it was very unique. It's a very unique concept, Black Mirror. I think it lost something when that happened. However, I was still intrigued to see this one. Bandersnatch as well, the interactive one. I wasn't a fan. I didn't think it was all that. I thought it could have been done a lot better. An actual interactive movie that you should check out is The Gallery by someone called Paul Rashid. That's how you do an interactive movie, by the way. So yeah, check that out, guys. Right, okay. Swiftly moving on to getting into it. I'm talking too much. Black Mirror, Lock Henry. So I'd seen the first episode, which was Joan is awful, and I actually thought it was all right. I thought it was okay. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Do you know, like this is a good start. This is a good first episode introduction to what's going on. Obviously, you had Salma Hayek in it, so I mean, geez, like that's a big draw. So I'm expecting big things from this. You get me? I'm like, you're drawing for the top ones. Do you know what I'm saying? So this one, Lock Henry, it actually didn't have anyone of note, if that makes sense. Like there was John Hannah, that is someone of note, and it also actually had Daniel Portman in it. You might not know his name, but he played Podrick in Game of Thrones. So I was looking forward to seeing what he could do, and he was actually pretty good in this as well. To be honest, he was a completely different character, which showed his range, which was cool. And I thought he was a good character in this. But anyway, Lock Henry is basically about a couple that they travel to like a Scottish town. It's the couple, the male of the couple. It's his old town, and he goes back to like his old town where he was brought up, and they're going to make a documentary. But they kind of get tangled up in an old crime, a crime that happened back in the day. They get tangled up in it, and then they find out new evidence, and things start transpiring, and there's shocks, and there's twists, etc. This started off pretty good. I was definitely involved. I was definitely like, okay, I'm interested. I like the awkwardness of there seemed to be like some subtle hints of racism in it, and as a black man, you can sense those pretty early. You'd be like, oh, okay, the questions about like where you from, like where you from, you know, those ones. Like you could sense it. So I thought I thought that was like a nice touch, because obviously it's a small town. I think it was in Scotland, and there's the guy's partner was black, so that was cool. The mum, you meet the mum. The mum's kind of weird from the jump. She's very like, I don't know, it's just very weird. It's just strange. You could tell there was something odd with her straight away. You know, it's just a bit like, I'm really happy that my mom's not like this. You know what I mean? Like it's just a weirdo, and it just seemed like everyone in the town was a bit strange. Everyone in the town had something weird going on. Do you know what I mean? It's just something odd about them. So we get to the part where so they're trying to do the documentary, and then they decide they don't want to do the documentary on what they was going to do the documentary on. They want to change it, and they want to talk about the crime that happened. There was a murder years ago, and they want to do the documentary on that. So they switch it up. They start doing the documentary on that, and then that's where weird things start happening. Things start occurring, and sorry, just redirecting my mic. Things start happening, and there's twists. Like I said, there's twists, there's turns, and you start learning things that didn't come to light back in the day, but are coming back to light now. I wouldn't say that this episode was bad. Like I said, I did enjoy it, but I just think there could have been more. And I'm going off the kind of Black Mirror that I know, where you've got these crazy twists and these shocking things happening, and they're smart, if that makes sense. So if you've seen Black Mirror, like they're smart, they make you think. The episodes make you think deeper than what's actually on the screen. And I just don't think that they're keeping up with that. I don't think they're keeping up with that. I think they're trying to go a different direction, where it's just a story, and whereas the Black Mirror that I enjoyed, that I thought was dope, was when you had these twists and when you had the proper twists, like, and you had these technology advances, and it was all about tech and all about where it was going and what it could be used for. Do you know what I mean? Like, you had the one with the eyes where you could, if you looked at their eyes, there was a machine that you could see in their past, and obviously then you like there was just cool ones. Do you know what I mean? Whereas this series and this episode and a few episodes in this series don't have that. They're just off stories, and I didn't like it. I didn't like that theme. However, I thought this episode there was a twist. Would I say it was shocking? No. Kind of saw it coming. I kind of saw it coming. I'm not gonna front. I don't want to act like I'm someone special, but I kind of saw it coming. I think what they was trying to angle you at was a bit too obvious. So I knew something else was coming. And when that something else came, it didn't make me go, do you know what I mean? You know, that's what I want. That's what I want. When there's a twist, I want it to be like, you know what I mean? You grab the person beside you and like that's what I want. Whereas this didn't do that to me, unfortunately. However, in saying that, it was a decent episode. Like, it was okay. It was cool. Sixes. Do you know what I mean? Sixes. If I got guns to my head, I'll give you a 7. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I would leave it at. But it's definitely a watch it. It's not bad. You know what I mean? It's a watch it. It's worth a watch. It's Black Mirror at the end of the day. But this wasn't one of the ones I'd put up there for Black Mirror. So yeah, guys, check that one out. That's Lock Henry, Black Mirror, episode 2, season 6. All right, I'm actually glad that I've managed to wrangle my way to do 2 episodes of Black Mirror this week, because we're actually doing a weekly recap. So I was only supposed to do number 2, but I really wanted to do number 3, because I am almost positive that this is an episode that people are going to be discussing for a little while. I feel like people are going to be talking about this for a hot second. It's the shock factor that I'm talking about. Yeah. So episode 3 of Black Mirror season 6 is called Beyond the Sea. You've got Aaron Paul in it. So Aaron Paul is Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad. So that's probably the main thing that you know him from. Also, you've got Josh Hartnett. So he's from The Faculty. I don't know if you remember that. Or 30 Days of Night. Do you remember that one? He was also in Ida Red. He played the son in Ida Red. There's a few things he's actually been in, but I'm just trying to name a few that you might have heard of. Do you know what I mean? Paradise Lost, that was a TV series that he was in. Penny Dreadful, he was in a lot of episodes of that. So, I mean, if you don't know by now, you probably don't know him. So, but yeah, it's Josh Hartnett, and you also finally had Kate Mara. So you actually had quite a decent cast. You know what I mean? So Kate Mara, that's she's from Brokeback Mountain, 24, the Fantastic Four, American Horror Story. So yeah, she's Shooter. She played the girlfriend, the wife, should I say? The Martian. She was in. She's been in so much. House of Cards, she was in. Like, so we're talking that this has got a big cast. Like, this could be a Hollywood movie. Do you know what I mean? They got a big cast here, and they absolutely nailed this episode. So they really did. I thought it was so good. Let me tell you what it's about, basically. So it's basically set. It's really strange, and this is why I say about Black Mirror what I like. It's basically set in the past, but in this alternate reality of the past, they're actually quite advanced. So it's set in the past, however, in this universe, there's a there's a machine or some sort of technology that allows you to be in the mind, to transfer your mind between two bodies, like a robot. So one of you's real, and then there's a robot, and this machine allows you to transfer your mind into the robot, but you can't be in both at the same time, basically. And it's about these two astronauts. They're on a mission in space, and they go home using the machine. They go home and like live life with their wives, with their wife, their wives, so each wife, their kids, their family. But when something happens on the mission, they have to come back and do whatever's happening in the mission. So basically, a situation occurs which disrupts that. I'll just say that because I really don't want to give you nothing away. The situation occurs that disrupts that causes a problem with them going back, etc. And something else happens after this, and it's immediate. What I liked about what occurs is that it seems such an innocent thing that occurs, but you see it to start unravel and explode, and it's like, you know, when something's cringy and it just continues to get cringy, it's like that. It's like, you know, like, get off my screen, like, like it just continues to get worse. You can see it progressively getting worse, but it just comes from something so small. And that's what I love about this episode. It's the nuances. It's exactly what Black Mirror is about. I feel like Black Mirror actually dropped the ball on this series. I feel like they did too much. If they would have done episodes 1, 2, and 3 and left it there, we'd be talking about something special. We really would. But they went OTT, in my opinion, and they added unnecessary episodes. To end on an episode like this would have been special. It would have been shocking. And that's what I look for when I'm watching something. I'm looking for shocking, when I'm looking for twists. And you get that with this. Obviously, with the level of actor and actress that you have in this, the acting is dope. Even the idea of what's happening, the idea of what's going on in this is dope. Like, it's like, yeah, that's sick. That's a great idea. That's a great story. And I don't even think, the way things are going on, I'm not even too sure if we're far away from it. It's funny, a lot of things that Black Mirror have portrayed in their episodes as something so far in the future, I feel like a lot of it we're very close to, or may have even accomplished. So that's strange. Aaron Paul in this gives a really good portrayal of this character that's in it. I think it's just, sometimes, you know, when you watch people act and it's just like effortless. That's how it felt with this. To be fair, all of them, Kate Mara, Josh Hartnett, it just felt effortless. It took that away from what needed to be done, if that makes sense. It wasn't about the acting. Like, I wasn't watching it like, oh gosh, or that. Whereas some of the other ones I was. But this one, I was just watching the episode, watching the story, watching exactly what's happening. And I was just like, this is what Black Mirror is about. This episode, this right here is what Black Mirror hones in on. And unfortunately, they didn't stick to it. They went too far left and right, which is a problem. But with this episode, this is what Black Mirror is about. If Black Mirror ever end up watching this, they really need to just stick to what they're doing. Like, let's skip to the niche. Like, let's stick to the niche. Like, let's not try and do too much. Let's not try and be too snazzy, etc. Let's stick to what we know and love and what you was about. That's what we need to do, because episode 3 is ace. It's A1, top tier writing, top tier cinematography, top tier acting. It's just exactly what I was wanting from a new Black Mirror series. That's exactly what I was wanting. This could have been a film. This could have been a film. Honest to God, this could have been a film, and I wouldn't have been mad. This could have been like a Bandersnatch, but not interactive, but that lengthwise. And I definitely wouldn't have been mad. I'm actually upset that they didn't do it now, to be honest. So maybe that's an idea for them. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, guys, episode 3, strap yourself in, get your juice, get your snacks, and get ready for that one, because that is a ride that you're most likely going to enjoy. So for me, I'll watch it. Um, but yeah, so that brings me to the end of the live. I think we've touched on Extraction 2, touched on Black Mirror, episode 2, Lock Henry, and Black Mirror 3, Beyond the Sea. So yeah, people, make sure you like, you can subscribe, you comment. Make sure you catch the next live. Might be me, might be Zush, might be one of the others. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I've been here for 31 minutes and 12 seconds on my own, talking to a couple people. I see a couple people come on, so thank you. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and peace out.